We live. Yep, we alive.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Easter. It's almost over, but it's never over until it's over. So, Monday evening here in the UK and in Africa, where Zion is. Again, happy Easter. Happy holidays wherever you are, whatever you celebrate. As long as you're celebrating and you're happy and you feel good, that's the important thing for us. Put a smile on your face. It's time to be positive, spread some energy, enjoy the possibilities of a future that involves all of us and the miracles that we are. I'm going to introduce Zion. Just a second. First of all, I just wanted to say, Nupi, we miss you. But I believe that she's having a wonderful time with her family, or she's at work, or something less boring than being here with me. Zion, you've got to put up with me entirely this evening. Over to you, brother.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Mark. Hello, everybody. Happy holiday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from where you are all over the world. I want to especially say happy Easter celebration to everybody, especially the Christians out there. Yeah, my name is Zion Inogeru, and I'm joining in all the way again from Nigeria. Yeah, I know most of you know me as Mr. Positive Energy. Yeah, that's me right there, Mr. Positive Energy, a man on a mission to spread positivity to every corner of the earth. And I believe with you, with me together, we can do so much more in making humanity better. Thank you so much. Over to you, Matt.
Thank you, brother. So, uh, let me tell you a little bit about me. Only the things that I can tell you, of course. So, my name is Matt Allen. I am founder of Kudos. Kudos is a exceptionally beneficial thing for people all over the world once that it comes into existence. I and a number of other people are trying to make that happen currently. If you want to know how that happens and what Kudos is, then the only way to find that out is either become a mind reader or have a talk with me. You can find me on LinkedIn. If you search this wonderful hashtag, you are the miracle, or you can find me by typing in Kudos UK or Matt Allen and looking for my mush. You'll see that I have some lasers pointing behind my head. That's because I have a laser projector coming out the top of me. So this evening is Easter, which makes it a bit of a celebration. I'm hoping that more people will join us, but we'll see how that goes. So, Zion, do you want to tell people a little bit about what you do and why I want to be alongside of you and about the thing with the children? Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much, brother. Yeah, like I said earlier before, I'm a man on a mission to spread positivity to every corner of the earth. And beyond talking positivity, we also believe in action. We believe in acting positivity, and that's the reason why, as a community of positive people, it's a community where positive people come together, so we can make a global impact together. And it's a community where everyone belongs, community where everyone is important. It's a community whereby, irrespective of your color, irrespective of your gender, irrespective of your past, irrespective of your present, your future, we all belong to this community because shared positivity, greater impact, greater power to make influence in the world. And currently, we are working on a project to reach out to 1,500 kids in Nigeria. Yeah, for now, we are working with 1,500 kids in Nigeria, but we are looking forward to a bigger picture where we can reach out to 1,500 kids in over 100 countries around the world. Now, what do we want to do? We want to supply them school material, like backpack, school shoes, school sandals, and beyond supplying the school materials, we believe the children are the future of tomorrow. The key for us to have more positive adults is to have more positive children. And having more positive children will definitely have more positive adults to make the impact, to make the influence, to cause a positive change in the world. And in investing our resources, our time, our energy in the life of these kids, it simply means we are investing also in our future. And in then we have the professionals of tomorrow who wants to see. And that's a project we're working on currently right now. And I believe everyone being part of global collaboration across people, we can be part of this because it's all about spreading the love, it's all about spreading joy, it's all about making a difference in people's life. And as positive people, we can, you can, and everybody can come together to make that difference in someone's life. Thank you. And over to you, Matt.
Thank you, my friend. So I like to give a little brief. I don't know what you call that now. Tell you about some people. Um, just first of all, my good friend Russ Hedge. I was in his 300th celebration show today with so many amazing people. I'm sure a few of them are going to be here. So Russ is a dear friend of mine who I have known since before Christmas time, which is longer than quite a lot of people that I know on LinkedIn. Russ is a phenomenal guy who knows a lot about marketing and knows a lot of people. And like me, believes that all of those people should have a personal connection with him. Russ is just the most amazing gentleman that I know. And I really want to show my respect to him because Russ has dealt with some cancer issues before in his life. And Russ recently went for some tests and they found that he had some cancer cells in his groin that he's going to have removed by an operation. Now, as much as I don't instill on people religion, there are, I'm sure, some people watching the show this evening who pray, and the positive vibes that we can send to my dear friend Russ, and probably most people here know him. If you don't, you should reach out to him. If you can't find him, by all means, reach out to me and I can connect you to him. He's a wonderful gentleman. Let's all join together and wish him the best and wish him well. It means the world to me that Russ is here with me in my heart because he's such a dear friend and an encouragement to me and just so many people. Again, apologies from Dr. Nupi. I don't know whether she is working or whether she is just on the Skype, but we've given her the evening off for at least 10 minutes. Never pay her anyway, to be honest. So, I don't know. She probably just gone home, have a drink. What do I want to tell people this evening? It's a religious holiday. It is Easter. It is Passover. It is Ramadan. There's probably some other things for some other religions that I don't particularly know about. And my apologies for that, for not knowing. When I grew up, we had a very religious background. We had a very religious upbringing. And I used to go to church a lot. And I don't want to talk about religion. What I want to talk about is something about people. Easter is a celebration of Jesus dying on the cross and his innocent blood being shed. Um, but I don't want to talk about his blood being shed. I want to talk about people's blood being shed. I want to talk about the blood of people who are dying through war and people who are dying through poverty and difficult situations. And the fact that really those things do not need to happen. The fact that innocent blood in 2023 should not be being spilt anymore. Instead, what should be happening is that people should be celebrated. People should be able to love one another instead of being told that we hate each other, instead of being told messages that bring us down and cause unhappiness and distress for people through things that are controlling us, whether that be um, drugs or medicine or food or the way that we are told to live our lives and the less and less money and resources that we have. That's innocent blood that's being shed by the people who are in control of those things. We are people. We love each other. We should love each other even if we don't. And even if we don't, and even if that's because we feel as though something has been done wrong to us, we should forgive each other because we're people. Because we're brothers and sisters, no matter where we are in the world, no matter shape, size, color, religion, anything else at all. We should all get along together. We should all believe in each other. And we should all believe in the miracles that we each and every one of us are. It's not about hate. It's not about democracy. It's not about what we want to gain from other countries or what other countries want to gain from us. We are all people. It is 2023. It's time that we stopped all of the innocent blood being spilt and instead we find a way that can help us all to live peacefully in joy and happiness and positivity and realize the possibilities of each of us and our miracles. Uh, War and difficulties should no longer exist. We don't have time to wait for 2030 for the UN to give us their special things that they're doing for us. We are people, we can unite, we can work together to make a better world for each and every one of us, just simply by loving one another the way that we should. So, back to a positive message. I am glad that I know everybody who's going to be turning up this evening. I'm glad that I have the honor and privilege of knowing my co-host Zion and Noopy, even though she's let us down. Anyway, Noopy's not here. If she was, I'd very much appreciate her. Well, I appreciate her anyway. Noopy's great. So I'm going to start introducing people in just a moment. Zion, is there any thoughts that you have?
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Matt. I just want to quickly talk about the Easter. You know, as believers, I'm a Christian and I'm proud to be, and I'm proud to say it on any stage I find myself. I'm proud to be a Christian. And that's the whole essence of celebrating the Easter. You know, the Bible speaking in the book of John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world." And because God loved the world, he has to give his son to us. Now, it's all about spreading the love. It's all about spreading the kindness. It's all about spreading that compassion to everybody. You have received the love, share the love to people. Now, I'm so excited to be a Christian because Christ has risen. And that's why I want to sing this song. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all my fear is gone. Because I know he owns my future. My life is worth a living just because he lives. Now, my life is worth a living because Jesus lives. He has risen. And because he has risen, I have a reason to keep living. I have a reason to keep spreading the love. I have a reason to keep spreading the positivity. I have a reason to keep spreading the kindness, the compassion, the empathy to every corner of the earth. I always tell people the source of my positivity is God. It's not because I'm the most positive person on earth. It's not because I'm the most active person, but God has been the source of my positivity, and I will always acknowledge Him for the grace and mercy. And because Jesus lives, the power of His resurrection, we will continue to spread positivity to every corner of the earth. That's what I wanted to add to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Zion. You know you're on mute.
I had to check that again. I wasn't me.
Sorry, brother. Sorry. I've forgotten. I needed to make an apology as well. Are you wearing a shirt?
Me?
Yeah. Or
Yep.
who else? Yes, you.
You just yeah, now, yeah, I'm wearing a shirt.
I have to apologize, and especially if any turns up, and especially if any turns up in a shirt and tie. I'm forever saying to people that they should dress properly. It's bank holiday in England, and I had no reason to dress up in a suit. Plus, I had two-hour meetings just before this, pretty much, so I didn't have a chance to change.
Yeah.
So my apologies for my tardy, my yeah, it's a nice sweater, but it's not quite a shirt and tie, is it? Anyway, moving on. Let's find some people to invite. Who should we have first? Zion, tell me number 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Number four.
Number
Number
4.
four. Yep.
I don't know if you know this lady. I've not met her, which is quite rare for people who come on the show. So we're going to find out some stuff about her. If you know her, then please tell her who I am. Okay.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Oh, Tracy, are you around?
I'm here.
Hi,
Sorry, I just walked away.
welcome.
Sorry, I forgot we are on daylight saving time. I
Uh-huh.
thought it's an hour later, and then just realized, oh no, it's already 9 o'clock in London. So
Yep,
sorry, Matt.
that's okay.
Late.
Don't apologize,
How
please.
are you? How's everyone?
Hi, Tracy. How are you
Hi,
doing?
Zion.
How are you? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. So happy to have you on our show today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm taking my day off. I'm basically calling everyone. I realize everybody is off, and then automatically I'm taking my day off too.
Amazing.
Oh, why not?
Oh yeah,
Um,
nice.
Tracy,
Yes.
I've not met you. I've seen
Mhm.
you in the comments. I've invited you along, and in
Thank you.
fairness, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to tell us a bit about you. Is that okay?
Okay, sure. I've been on LinkedIn recently, actively for about 5 months, I think. I start to read more on LinkedIn and start write a little bit around Thanksgiving time. Before that, I think I was on LinkedIn since 2009. Due to work, everybody had a profile. I got like 500 connections all through my previous work experience, but the majority of us don't talk at all. Okay, everybody has a profile. Nobody ever get engaged ever on this platform.
Wow.
So it has been a eye opener to me. Lots of things are going on. I guess LinkedIn now today is totally different from what I knew back in 2009. Is evolved tremendously. It's totally different, like more on the social media side than just a directory. So it was a directory to me, and there was a lot of things that's not very positively in the past. That's why people start talking to each other. We just know I have a profile. That's where you can find me, and that's it. Pretty much like a resume database.
Yeah.
So I'm right now, my current profession, I'm part time of everything. I'm an educator. I work in a weekend school. We are after school programs operator, and also we are summer school provider. We are a Chinese language training school. We also provide a variety of courses, SAT preparation, public speaking, you name it, from K-12, from pre-K to 12, grade 12. So basically, it's still in elementary, middle school to high school level. And I'm the junior superintendent of all my academies. I'm in charge of human resource. And other than that, I'm a translator and also a writer. So I was on the technical side. I'm doing menus, instructions a lot, but recently I'm just starting to write my own things instead of translating or documenting the technology part. That's why I've seen this new evolution about artificial intelligence, which is scary, but I've been using that a lot in my previous work experience. Sometimes, honestly, I do use Google translations a lot. Google translation accuracy is about 90 to 95%, but you do need a little human touch to make it sound like people talking other than machine, right? Translation, that's very technical, very accurate though, but just don't sound like human. They are very robotic. So that's what I do.
Oh, amazing.
Not a lot then.
Well, because my college major, I went to college in the 1990s. So my major was actually library science. But when I went to school, our college or the entire education system went through a reform. So we were moving toward computer science, but not exact, more like a combination of information compiled together. And we learn lots of database, basic coding, all those ancient technology that nowadays programmers they no longer use it, but they knew what we had. That was like a crash course, everything packed into a 4-year program, and we have to. For me, my second language was English. I think we started because I graduated from Chinese college, so we start our English in 6th grade elementary school the last year, and then in college I had to learn Russia. I wasn't good at that. Basically, just a requirement for us to understand a lot of things in Russian. Uh, Easy to do research. So basically, I had the 3 languages: Chinese, Russian, and English. But now I think my Russian is almost like zero. I never really
Oh,
used it, only for like a college course requirement. That's all.
uh-huh. Okay. So you grew up in China,
Yes,
or
yes. I was educated for elementary, middle school, high school to college. I came to the United States in 1999 for my graduate school, and I
what?
majored in hotel management, which is very different from what I had before. It just I guess I would say it's entirely personal interests because I used to help a friend of mine who had a restaurant business, and we were struggling with the operation because none of us had any working knowledge. So for me, oh, that's where we fail. Maybe that's something I need to look into. So I chose hotel management in the States, and then luckily I was accepted by one of the 4 prestige hotel managed schools here. And now I think our school is called International Hospitality Management. It's a fancy term, but still, it's a hotel and restaurant management.
Yeah,
Mm,
very good.
okay.
So where in China?
Oh, okay. I was born and raised in the northeastern part of China. It's very close to Russia, North and South Korea. It wasn't a border town, but if I drive 2 hours, I could be in North Korea if they
Wow.
let me in. Yeah, it's very cold area. When I was younger, I remember we had to go to school taking buses and the little trolley, kind of like cable car type of thing. but the snow could be all the way up to my knees. It was really cold, and we have to cover up all the way here. And with a beanie, and you basically just see me with eyes open. And I remember closely, I had those frosts on my eyelashes. I don't have long ones, but no, it was very cold. But
Wow.
global warming, everything changed, and nowadays we don't see snows much. Maybe 1 or twice per year. That's all, and they were like 1 or 2 inches. That's all.
Wow.
Yeah, it changed a lot actually.
Zion, have you ever had snow in Nigeria?
No.
No,
Don't go there. Don't
maybe
go
in
there.
the mountains, right?
So Russian, Privyet. You know Privyet?
It wasn't Soviet at that time when I was in school, and then everything changed. So I do have a lot of Russian friends here. Whenever they start talking in Russia, I just feel like I should know that, but I don't. That everything just like totally gone. I mean, it was okay in college. We were taking courses seriously for 2 years, but
Wow.
honestly, I don't remember much.
No. Okay. My wife, called Evgenia, is from Russia.
That's cool.
She used to live in a tiny little mining, well, it wasn't mining town, but they used to ship coal from her town because it was just on the coast opposite Japan. So literally the other side of the planet from where I am. And I know some Russian, but most of it, you don't want to hear
The
it.
pronunciation is super hard. I mean, just a few sounds I can never make.
I can say some words, but most of them are very bad words. I'm sure most people won't
I'm
understand
sure
what
they're
they are.
useful.
Yeah. I'm sure also that my wife is going to be watching this at some point, probably now, and I'll get told off if I say them. So yeah, let's bring somebody else on before I get.
Hold on, Matt. Can I ask Tracy a question?
Sure.
You can, yeah.
Right, thank you. From when you were talking,
What question is it? Because we need to make sure that it's okay to ask. What's the question?
Yeah, it's based on the school children. She works with school children, right? Tracy, can you hear me? Yeah, you work with school children. So I wanted to ask the question: how having positivity in children, how does it make a difference in their life? Having those younger kids, those younger children being positive, how does it make a difference in their life?
That's a very good question, because children nowadays, they know a whole lot than we were. Okay, we were little kids. They are young adults. They have a broad knowledge base because they grew up with iPads technology. I mean, nowadays, you have a problem with my iPhone, I call the kid and they know how to do it for me. I mean, because I have to start scratch, I have to search, I Google search. They know it intuitively. So I think because they have so much energy, it's very important to channel the energy toward something positively instead of giving them this option. I used to tell them, this is what I think, this is what other people think. And then I realized, no, when I offer that, that's leaving them in the woods because they have to make a decision. But at least at this level, I'm working with kids from the youngest from 4 to about 14, 15. They have no core value at this time, even though they were told many things from their families, parents, or those trusted adults, but those are very conflicted. A might say A, B might say B, and they were like, who is right? What's, which one should I choose? But now, instead of telling them all these options, I'll just say, the majority of us believe this, but we do have people think otherwise. So they are kind of guided toward to the, at least the mainstream. In America, there's no mainstream of anything. But because we're in a relatively traditional school, I work in between two schools. We're a Catholic school, we're also a Chinese school. So I would say we have the consensus. So we basically we have this ground covered. But I will say in the public school setting, it's very challenging for teachers to say anything that they believe. So instead of telling people, young adults, what they believe, they just have to say, this is what the school wants us to tell. And this might be something you want to discuss with your parents at home, because it's very hard for them to take a stand in many things. And the kids will come to us and telling us, that's a rainbow. And that's what I know. It's not a rainbow. And I will just say, no, that's a rainbow. That's something naturally existed. But
Yeah.
this rainbow with quotation marks could be different interpretation by many
True.
adults. And that's just something you can have the knowledge, but we are not supposed to give a very judgmental opinion. So to be on the safe side, you just maybe have to say, this is my opinion, this is the facts.
Yeah.
Kids, you need to make your decision. And that's very hard for young kids to make that kind of decision at this age. Very, I feel very sorry. And for public school teachers, it's very hard to cope with the situation. On top of safety, many people are going to school. They don't know if they can come back home. Today in America, in the morning, 8:30, they had a shooting again. And I think it's reported in the bank building. Don't know what's the detail of the story, but I just feel it's not so sad because it didn't happen in school. It could be in public high school, even elementary school. I'm in this country, you do not know your personal safety. There's no guarantee anywhere.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you mean?
Shall we bring on? I don't know if you know this lady either. Her name is Suzette. Hiya.
Hello.
How are you doing? You're
You are
on mute.
muted.
Still on mute.
Unmute your mic.
Can you hear me
There we go.
now?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome.
Technology. I gotta love it.
Hi, Suzette. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I am perfectly good. Thank you very much. Zion, do you know Suzette? No? Tracy? No?
How are you?
I'm getting to know her now.
Well, Suzette, you're going to have to tell everybody about you.
Okay, well, my name is Suzette West. I'm founder of Wild Hearts Rising and the A Player Alignment Accelerator, where we are on a mission to transform what it means to be an A player. It's no longer about being an A-type personality who's great at what you do. It's also about being an A player human, a human who is kind and courageous enough to lead from within and to lead with kindness. It's so simple but yet so powerful. And what you were all saying, I was backstage listening, and in a world that is so divisive, in a world that is so full of fear, we need more voices like this to speak about peace and positivity and embracing our shared humanity. So important, right? Doesn't matter where we come from, we're all human. We all bleed, we all breathe the same air.
Yeah.
So powerful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's good to have you here. Hopefully we're doing more breathing than bleeding this evening. I'm not really up for the bleeding part. I quite like the breathing part, but the bleeding not so much. So you and I, Suzette, we have spoken a long time ago. It's been quite some time, and then you popped back onto LinkedIn because you went off to do some training, didn't you?
Yeah, so like the phases of the moon, like when the moon is waxing and showing its brilliance, it's out there, it's showing up, and then there's times when It's time to wane. It's time to pull the curtains. It's time to pull back and rejuvenate and recharge. So, could be that I was in that cycle of pulling back and just recharging and getting clear on my next right step forward.
And now you're ready.
I'm always ready. That, you know me.
See, that is the attitude.
I'm always ready.
I don't know about always ready. Sometimes I sleep quite deeply, but most of the time I'm ready. Tracy, whereabouts in the US are you? You are in the US,
Yes, I'm in Houston,
in Houston,
in the
in
south.
Susan.
We're only a few hours away from Mexico. Uh,
Oh, wow.
we've seen lives in different forms. Not too far from the town I'm living, they have. I think we in the recent years we have refugees coming to Houston. Some due to the political conflicts from other part of the world, but many from hurricanes. We've been receiving refugees due to the disaster, recent hurricanes, also from South American countries. This country used to welcome all people, but not anymore because we're in recession and we're losing jobs. Many people get laid off. We are experiencing maybe the fifth wave of the layoff, massive, massive from large American corporations. And I just met somebody who's in her early 30s. She said everybody she knows basically they were laying off. That's sad because those are young professionals. They're still climbing the corporate ladder. They're in middle management positions.
Wow.
I mean, if they have to start something else from scratch, it is hard because they are no longer young graduates. They already spent 5 to 10 years in one company or in one specific field, and that's very hard. And then they are basically left with two options. Many companies will give them the opportunities to interview with other departments, try to relocate them, but that's not always the case. But if they cannot find a job within the company, maybe in 3 months, they're gone forever. And the other option will be start a small business on their own. But with the economy like this, it is very hard to be a startup. Where do you get the money, right? It's very risky to begin with, unless you have your client base. You can start something right away. How many life coaches you see on LinkedIn? I mean, too many. I would say 5 or 6 people after 10, and I know there are life coaches. They're providing some kind of consulting services. If you have your client base, that will be a good option, but many don't have anything. And they have confidentiality agreements with their current employers, and they can't do a lot of things they want to do, right? Their options are very limited.
Sure.
Mhm.
I think, to be fair, there is a lot of coaches on LinkedIn. I think part of that is that it's quite a positive environment. I know quite a few coaches, and they're not overloaded with clients, but most of them have got at least some sufficient amount of work. I don't know that that's the most that they should have, but certainly they've got sufficient work. And I think as well that the positivity that comes from them is maybe something that is stirring what you said about the change in LinkedIn, is that there is a lot more positivity from these people.
Yes, yes. I think overall, I would say it's very positive. There are lots of robots, they're not really in human form because I'm getting messages sometimes from emails and they are very identical. You can tell it's not a human talking. They have the little maybe SOP, what do you say the first conversation and what do you follow up? They are exactly the same. I would say 99% are like a copy and paste, that kind of thing. And I can tell that's not a person talking.
Yeah.
but
Well,
that's
especially
that's a
you're quite
very very
experienced.
small percentage. But overall, you can feel the positivity on this platform, which is very supportive. Different. I'm also having a Facebook account. I also have Twitter, Instagram. I don't really use it much. I try to stay away from social media, which is very time consuming. And but LinkedIn, I would say, is number one. You know, if I have to keep one, that would be LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'm only really on LinkedIn. I've got a Facebook account and I've got my YouTube account, but I don't really do much on Facebook, but I have my reasons for that. Suzette, what about you? Are you just on LinkedIn or are you elsewhere as well?
So I'm mostly focusing on LinkedIn, but I do have Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and so those are my main platforms. But Tracy, I wanted to speak to. I really understand the because my family, we were the thing in my family was go to school, get a degree, get a good job, find an employer that's gonna support you for the rest of your life and work there and then retire from there. And like
Right.
that no longer works. And
Right. Exactly.
yeah, so and I know the struggle with the startup because we have to, we have certain skills as coaches, and certain skills are going to resonate with certain clientele, but what the challenge is getting really clear on what is the problem that we solve. And that was my sticking point for a long time. Is I was a coach, I was getting a lot of great results, but to articulate what I specialized in, like what is the specific pain that I solve, that was always really unclear and always too broad. And that's the challenge, is that I feel like each coach has a place. Like we all have people we're here to serve, and it requires going within and getting clear on what our mission is so we can get out in a meaningful way. And then that resonance, that energy attracts the people who we're here to serve. And until we are clear on the pain we solve, that resonance is not going to happen. It really has to, and you can't just pick it from, oh, I just want to specialize in this type of client. To really be resonant, it's something like, it's like a mission. It's like, wow, this is my mission, this is what I was born to do. And it just starts to, when it's that calling, when it's that thing you're here to do, it wakes up inside, and all of a sudden it starts to pull you. So there's a saying that goes, pain pushes until the vision pulls. And that's exactly what happens with coaches. Like we have to get clear on what is our vision, what is our mission, what were we born to do, how were we born to serve. And it's like when we really get into that, when we really tap into that, the resonance of that calling gets so powerful, and it starts to pull, and it shows up in your words. And as you're speaking, people will feel your words. And that's what I had to tap into before getting really clear on how to speak to my tribe, how to speak to the people I'm here to serve. Otherwise, you're just going to be lost in the crowd with everyone else marketing their services the exact same way. That's just what's going to happen when the energy is not tuned in to what you're really here to do. You start sounding like everybody else, and that's where the difference. But one of the things that was really encouraging to me back in 2020 was, and I'm sorry to quote this, but it's so true. So what is his name? Warren Buffett said that the best hedge against inflation is to invest in yourself, to upskill yourself, to learn how to take your gifts and your skills and learn how to deliver value. So how do we deliver value? Because it's that value that we then build our service on, build our mission on. What is the value? And for those of us who grew up, you know, you got to go to college, you got to get a good job and find a big, you know, we have to learn how to fish. You know that saying, teach a man to fish, or give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach him how to fish, feed him for a lifetime. So a lot of us, we weren't taught to fish. We were learned to find the biggest fish factory and get the highest position job in that fish factory and to get the most fish from this fish factory. But instead, we have to learn, like, what can I do to bring value in the market? So I'm going to make my own fishing pole. I'm going to learn how to do my own value, you know, create value in the market. What can I do to bring value in the market? And learning how to become a service provider, learning how to fish. It's a mindset, because you know, with a job, you know, you've got a check coming in, and when you're in business for yourself, a lot of what you do, a lot of your business depends on the ability to do the right thing at the right time, the next right step, making smart decisions, making intentional choices, growing, and figuring out how to make a sustainable living on your own gifts. That is a skill that is learned, and we have to learn it, especially when we're so used to being told, you got to go to school, you got to get a good education, you got to go to the best schools, you got to go to the best. And it's just, now we have to think differently. And I think that's the challenge right now, is we have to think differently.
You say think differently. Last week on Thursday, I do a second live show, but this is with some people from America, my friends Jason and Clifford. And Clifford was talking about exactly the same thing, and about fishing and fishing poles. It's been a very fishy week for me. It's strange how there's a recurring message in different things that come across. In fact, the other day, I was giving a talk at a like a children's, well, I say children, like young people, they were mainly, event where it was about talent and creativity. And they were all children from Africa and from Pakistan and places like that. And the message there was a lot about everybody being a community and everybody working together and focusing on moving forward. I think it's a very interesting world that we live in at the moment, where we're at this position where we have the option, the opportunity, the possibility of making some change. And it's going to be, are we going to make that a positive change or just a change? And I think it's time that we made positive change, because really, I think from the people that I talk to, everybody is fed up with not having enough, not having enough jobs, not having enough respect, and giving enough respect and having enough love for people, because again, we're sort of controlled and contrived into situations that we find ourselves. And fishing's one of those interesting things where you think that it's the fish that are in control of whether they come to your fishing pole, but there are a number of things that you can do as a person to aid your ability to catch a fish, or certainly the right fish, by putting the right lure on your line, like you said about making your own fishing rod, and making the right materials to do the right thing, and then finding the fish that you want to catch. I think it's a very interesting world that we live in, and I'm looking forward myself to what's going to happen over the next year or two because of the changes that we can make. I don't believe in problems. I believe in solutions, and bringing solutions and making them happen. So talking about solutions, let's bring somebody else on. Let's hope that they've got a solution. Nancy, are you ready? I'm going to give you a moment, because I think you're looking back at the camera. Okay. Hello. You're on mute as well.
I have you sitting on my computer. And today I was going to use my computer because I thought I keep getting kicked out, and then here I was trying to push my screen instead of my. You're actually on my phone, is what I meant to say, and I don't know. My goodness, I get in listening to what everybody's saying, and I'm a real process thinker. So when you call on me, I'm like, I have to think for a minute. But it's
I should
nice
give you
that
more warning.
poke me or something like that.
Okay. I'll
Oh,
try next time. I
yeah.
have to try and remember, but it's not always that easy. How's life with you this evening? Well, I
Oh,
say this evening, but it's not evening there.
it's actually 2:52, and I'm in northern Alberta, Canada, and it's quite windy out. But yesterday was just like a summer day outside, and yeah, I guess it's kind of late for most of the people that are on here. But it's nice to listen to other people's story, and I just was thinking about Tracy. I see she's mute, or she's there, but just thinking about when we're teaching kids and things like that, and how this kind of one-sided, and it's lucky she's in a private school, maybe, as opposed to public. I don't think you can really voice a lot of opinions. And then, Matt, I'm listening to you about change, this positive change. We really need that like all over the world, and unfortunately in some places it's turned, into conflict. But I believe that if people keep, kind of pushing forward and striving for that same goal, that I believe countries, like this, just being on these Zooms and meeting people from all over the world and experiencing, I talk to linked, like there's so many people I talk to on there. That's how I met you, of course. And it's just amazing the connections and the distances, and I about these life coaches. I think people need that. They need somebody to connect with, and kind of gives them a lift, up, an upward kind of lift, because it's been a long hard haul, this COVID and everything, and the loss of jobs, and the economy and inflation. I know we're feeling it here in Canada too, and I don't know. It's a pretty scary world, so we got to keep pushing, and kudos,
Yeah.
Matt sending his message every time I see that come out, and I, oh, Nancy, you were I got to get there first, but usually there's somebody else that's already commented, and it's a really good site, that linked, and you just meet people from all over the world, right?
Yeah.
And it's awesome. So thanks, everyone.
Not just people, friends, or at least in my case,
Yeah.
like everybody that I speak to is just amazing. Some are more amazing than others. Looking at my friend, not Zion, Suzette. No, um, I think that LinkedIn for me is the best option that there is, because there is no negativity, and there is a positive vibe that comes across from everybody who's here, because everybody's looking to succeed rather than criticize people's inability to succeed, or whatever the case that might be on some different platform. Um, I really enjoy being around people here, and I really enjoyed the wealth of knowledge that there is that goes around, that you can stop and listen to various shows. Like Suzette, I was at your show earlier this week, wasn't I? And it's just amazing to me to see the things that people talk about, and the insights that they give, and the sharing that goes on. Um, I'm probably a bit more sharey than most people, because when I talk to people about Kudos, I share a bit about myself in that sense. Maybe a little bit overshare. I don't know. I think most people are quite happy to hear what I say. But I have a wonderful friend who did say that he was going to disappear because he couldn't do something, but he's still in the green room, and I can't be the only gentleman in the room. I say gentleman, but I'm not really a gentleman. This man is a gentleman. I would like to welcome Keith Weedman. Keith,
Thank you, Matt.
how are you doing, my friend?
Doing great.
Do you know anybody in the room? I know you know lots of people, but I mean,
show event earlier this week. Thanks to your tag. It was a great event, Suzette.
Thank you, Keith. It was awesome to see you there.
Thank you.
Yay.
Keith, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about you?
Well, I can tell you it's possible to activate your stem cells. I know this because I've activated mine. I would normally dismiss it as a scam, but it's not a scam. I'm living proof. My stem cells have been activated. So what I used to do before I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease last year, I used to focus on leadership training, leadership development, and focused on helping people change their own perception to first help people they lead change theirs in ways that evoke thoughts. Those thoughts generate joy and gratitude if you do it right. And when you do it right, you'll feel joy from your own thoughts when you do it right. Now that I'm healing, I'm really in touch with energy. We're energy beings, and emotions are energy. And emotions can be healing energy instead of pathological energy.
Yeah. Keith, you and I have talked quite a bit. Yes. Not extensively. Like, I've talked to some people more than I've talked to you. You got bored quicker than they did and left. But I think you introduced me to Sadiq, who I spoke to earlier for a couple of hours. Thank you very much for introducing me to him. I am amazed by the amount of people that you know and the type of people that you know. And I'm blown away by your story. And I've known some people with Parkinson's. And I have to say, my friend, that you look incredible all the time to me. And your positivity just comes across all the time. And I'm just so glad to have met you, because you just bring that smile and your presence wherever you are. Like, it just blows me away that you have so much energy that other people don't necessarily have, and so much wealth of knowledge that you just casually stream into the room, just like, yeah, it's Keith, and then you come out with amazing things that I can't even begin to explain to people, because you have had so many years of wonderful experience doing these things. I haven't worked for 10 years for a long time. I miss the good old days of talking in meeting rooms and training many people at once, rather than being in Zoom chats with people who I can't really read their body language, because all that I can see is like their neck up. And that's even with my poor eyesight. Like, some people know about my eyes, but for me, it's a very different world to the commercial world that I used to work in. And I think that for somebody who's recovered or recovering or recovered from Parkinson's, and you just fill the room with so much positivity. Like, I love the word that describes you. You are just a positive light that shines so brightly.
Thank you, Matt.
Sorry, I seem to be going on about you more than what you did.
Well, you're somebody who attracts people to you. You're a magnet for positive people. Positivity. A positivity magnet. Zion's a member of this group, and so's Suzette, and so's Nancy. but you're the core.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it's not about me. It's just about things being different. And both you and Suzette and Zion and Tracy as well, and Nancy, you said a couple of words about it in the sense that things are about people and about trying to benefit everybody, and about, if we're leaders, to lead from being about people and people benefiting, and about people getting more, whether that be knowledge or experience or money or some other benefit to their life that we all try to bring. Some of us mentioned about coaches and some of the differences between coaches, and for me the real thing about the coaches that succeed, that make the real difference, like Suzette said, is that they're the ones that understand, in the sense, their niche. They understand their particular pull to what it is that is their driver, is their particular type or style or person that they can help. And when they've identified that, it's like a perfect fit, hand in glove, because their talent and their positivity for that particular situation shines through. A bit like Sadiq that we mentioned just before. He's a particular type of coach that I'm not going to talk about Sadiq because it's not here. But just the ability to hone in on what they can deliver, that's the key to being an amazing coach, I think. Some people sometimes think that I'm a coach. I'm not. I'm something very, very different. I think you'll agree with that, Keith. So time is drawing close to finish. In fact, I think we're already a couple of minutes over. I was hoping that my friend Marcus was going to join, but I think that he's dropped out because he was here earlier, but I didn't put him on, and he has a very busy schedule at the moment, so he's not going to join us. It has been wonderful to see you all. Thank you very much for turning up on what is, for myself and a couple of other people, a bank holiday Monday. It's certainly a holiday, or at least a Monday after the holidays for everyone. So I really appreciate you giving up your afternoons, most of you from America, and Zion, your evening over in Africa. Zion, my friend, do you have anything that you want to share with people before we sign off? Can't hear you. Are you on mute? Oh, obviously he's not got anything to say. Zion has some connection issues from time to time because he's in Nigeria, and sometimes the service is not very good there. I'm trying to sort that out with him. So thank you very much, everyone, for turning up. It has been a pleasure, as always. Nancy and Keith, you have been here before, so thank you very much for coming back. I obviously haven't done too bad a job because you've come back. Unless you thought we'll just give him another chance, maybe it's worthwhile. As I think, Suzette, we've had a chat, but that was a long time ago. Keith, can you just say something without, obviously, you know the rules. You're not allowed to tell people what Kudos is, but just a couple of words about how positive things can be with Kudos?
I would encourage you, Suzette, to have a one-to-one with Matt. Be blown away. Be prepared to be blown away by having a one-to-one, and you'll learn about Kudos. He can tell you on a one-to-one.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Yeah. And actually, he has. We did talk about Kudos, and very. I love the idea, the vision. So I'm very much looking forward to following up, Matt, for sure. And thank you, Keith.
Sure.
So you're all very kind. Not only do you turn up to my show, but you say nice things about me. Like I say, I am the founder of Kudos. Kudos is a social benefit network. It is about benefiting us all in so many different ways. It's a thing that doesn't really exist in that sense as a platform in itself as yet. There's still a lot of work to be done into that, but it's a movement that has started and it's not going to finish until we have changed the world for the better. It revolves around everybody being their miracle. It's powered by everybody being their miracle, and it enables people to live their miracle fully beyond our wildest imaginations. Thank you very much to all of you for having been here. Zion is back in the room. 1 second. Gotta let him say goodbye. Zion, say goodbye, please.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for finding time to join us. It's very positive to have like-minded people, positive people like this come together for the goal to make an impact in the world. The truth is, the world needs more positive people, and together as positive people, we can do so much more in making humanity better. So keep spreading the positivity till it gets to every corner of the earth. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Take care, and I hope to see you again next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.